It's a really, really impressive coating.
Wow.
I mean, there's a pretty stark difference there.
Holy smokes. Well, welcome to the Gtechniq segment at Tier SEMA 2026.
Great to be here.
Happy to be in Idaho.
Good. Well, I'm joined by the other Carson and Jordan. What are we doing today, guys?
We're gonna run you through the product line. So you guys already know Gtechniq. You know our mainstay products like G-Wash, W4, some other products in the mix. We're gonna use those products, but we've got a special one to showcase. Jordan?
Yeah, so we're gonna be debuting GT1. This is a super easy to use coating. It is a 12-month durability and it will flash on the surface about 1 to 2 minutes. So you're gonna see me being able to apply this. We're gonna prep the car together.
And just a little teaser, because we may have pulled the car in a little early. I get a little excited sometimes.
True. This is cool.
This car is not in the best shape, even though it's pretty low mileage, but it's a little sticky. It slides, but not great. Especially the paint here is a little rough. I got a little bit pumped this morning, and I may have decided to just go ahead and coat this side and this side of the glass. So super slick already. It's gonna be a hydrophobic, oleophobic coating, but the main focus is ease of installation without sacrificing performance. So you'll see that today. Now, as far as what we're gonna do to prep this car, it's nothing out of the ordinary, right? We're gonna go through, we're gonna foam it, we're gonna rinse. We're gonna go ahead and hit it with our G-Wash, which is one of my favorites of the line. This is going to be a 1 to 1500 dilution ratio shampoo. The benefit behind something like this is it's going to be focused on emulsification and encapsulation of that dirt and residue on the surface. So this is more focused on kind of preventing marring of your paintwork with whatever your favorite wash mitt is. And the kind of difference between something like that and our citrus foam, the citrus foam is more focused on the actual traffic film removal on the surface. Now, despite the name, citrus foam, it's still going to mainly be a pH neutral detergent. So it's still safe, but we have some kind of a little bit more acidic products in here that's been brought back to pH neutral. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. Safe on coatings, but still aggressive on dirt. And that's kind of the same with a lot of the other products in the line. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's do it, dude.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be using, of course, the TRC foam cannon. So Jordan, you're gonna go ahead and rinse it down first, and then we're gonna apply some citrus foam, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. So citrus foam in the foam cannon. Ideally with this kind of detergent, we want to keep it around a 1 to 10 dilution ratio. It's a really cost-effective product. We've already got some kind of dealer applied wax on here. So like I said, decently new rental car. So we're gonna try and remove all that too. That will naturally go off with the kind of decon process we're gonna take you through today.
Hold on. You gotta check this out.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta talk about that, right?
We
We gotta talk about that. Like,
gotta bring the
that's pretty
pressure washer
impressive.
over
And
there.
Jordan doesn't even have the tip on it, but I bet you the sheeting action is gonna be really good with this. I mean, it's a really, really impressive coating. I mean,
Wow.
there's a pretty stark difference there. And
Wow.
keep in mind, right? We just applied this, what, an hour and a half ago? So we're throwing all the conventions out of it. Now, should you do this right after you coat it? No, but it just goes to show a coating like GT1 is not sacrificing on the abilities of the coating while it's improving everything on the surface as far as slickness and everything goes. The water contact angle on this, for those of you that are nerding out on this, is gonna be around 110 degrees. So it's a really, really hydrophobic coating. It's gonna be able to make this surface really easy to clean and maintain for up to 1 year. We're gonna go ahead, let this W4 citrus foam sit on the paint and try and remove as much of that loose traffic film and dirt, especially on these lower rockers. While we're doing that, for time's sake, Jordan's gonna go ahead and pre-treat the wheels. So we've got W5, which is our citrus all-purpose cleaner. That's the product that's going on the tires, any of your undercarriage components that you're trying to degrease and clean up. The other product that he's got is our W6, which is our iron removing wheel and paint cleaner. Notice it's wheel and paint cleaner. So this is pH neutral. It's safe for use on really any type of surface, whether I'm treating glass, if I'm doing paint, if I'm doing wheels, even on plastics, you're good to go with a product like this. So the ingredient in this that's really doing a lot of that work is gonna be a sodium thioglycolate concentrate. This stuff is thick. It's naturally a gel, not due to sodium or salt-based thickening agents or cheap bulking products, but because we have additional concentrate in here. I wouldn't recommend diluting this. This is a question we get a lot is, can I dilute the W6? Technically, the answer is yes. If you're going to, make sure to use distilled water, because normal water is gonna have some type of compounds in it, especially metal-based minerals, which will react. But I always kind of say, why would you want to dilute a product if its main job is to stick on the surface and dwell and remove a lot of that iron? And that's what the W6 is gonna do naturally. So use it straight, keep it ready to use. That's the way to go. Jordan, what brush are you using right now?
Yeah, we're using the curveball from the Detail Factory. Really easy to grip, really easy to use on the face. And next up, we're gonna go and kind of get inside these grooves on the front of the face.
And
Really easy to use. You notice too, there's a lot of
arrows.
different cracks and bends in this wheel on here and crevices to kind of hit. So it's definitely something that gotta make sure you have the right tools to do and use.
I talked about W5, which is our citrus all-purpose cleaner that we're deciding to use on any of these plastics and rubber compounds. We have another cleaner, which is our W2, our multi-purpose cleaner. The big difference between those two is W2 is going to be more focused on a higher alkalinity. So it's another kind of bump up to about pH of 12 or so, versus something like the W5, which we used around a pH of 10. So pH is not the full story, right? But it does help you kind of decide, hey, if I need something a little bit more aggressive, maybe I'll reach for the W2. If you have a ton of that oil-based tire dressing that you're trying to remove or something like that, W2 is going to give you a little bit more power, a little bit more bite to remove that from the surfaces, engine bay cleaning, things like that. However, W5 still completely kicks it, especially on most vehicles. So most of the time I'm grabbing my W5, but W2 is a nice thing to have in the arsenal. Both dilute, as with all the Gtechniq products. If you're interested in dilution amounts and ratios, check the back of the bottle. So for example, W5 is gonna tell you you can use it neat or undiluted all the way up to a dilution of 1 to 10. So it's a strong product. Use it as you need to. You can see pretty much the exact divide of the coating already beating up the W4, and we didn't let it cure. I didn't do an awesome job applying it. I mean, I was talking to Carson about dinner last night as I was doing it. So it was a pretty kind of lackadaisical application, but you see it's trying to repel everything really well, and it's super, super slick. Let's go ahead and rinse the whole car down. At this point, we'll rinse the wheels. Wheels are gonna be good to go for coating, and then we'll go on ahead, we'll rinse the paint as well, and then we'll kind of assess it and see if we need to do anything prior to contact washing.
So Carson, what do you think about the new Ultra H2O line?
I'm a big fan.
Are you?
I'm a big
really?
fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
like it a lot.
very much Gtechniq gray, if you will.
Yeah, see, we like our grays. Let's tag team this. Now, as far as what's in the bucket, we have G-Wash. I only did a little bit of product. Generally, because it's a 1 to 1500 dilution ratio, usually a couple capfuls is all good to go. Carson 2.0 loves to fill the bucket to the full 5 gallons. So I probably could have done up to 6 capfuls. So we could add a little more if we wanted to. Now, while Jordan's washing, I do notice we have some tar in some of these areas. If you have tar like this, where you kind of see this black kick up and it doesn't just wipe off, you're gonna want some type of cleaner like our tar and glue remover. This is a petroleum distillate, so it's not a water-based, it's an 8-product solvent, which is able to remove a lot of these oil-based kind of debris that gets kicked up. And unfortunately, it happens all the time. In Georgia, we have construction on all the roads, so this is a really mainstay of living there. This stuff erases it. Now, it is strong, so read the warning on the side. Don't use it on any unpainted plastics or rubbers, but glass, metal, any type of paint, you're good to go. The action of it is really impressive. I mean, it virtually dissolves everything right before your eyes. A really light wipe is all you need to do. Notice I'm not pressing into the panels or anything like that, but it's gonna dissolve everything that might be kind of a oil or rubber kind of composite that commonly gets kicked up, especially on these lower sedans like this 5 Series.
Alrighty, well, sweet.
And what are we using here, Carson? These are the liquidators, right?
Yeah, so Anthony just talked about these. So this is the Liquidator M22.
The pink drink?
The pink
I told you I was
drink,
going to say it.
You did
The pink drink liquidator.
It is just a super small liquidator, but it packs a punch, 20 by 20, 2200 GSM. My favorite drying towel ever.
Now here's the deal. I'm sure we have someone thinking right now, did they skip the W6 decon step? We did. We have an hour. Right? And honestly, there's not a lot of contamination on this car, and the reason why is because the tunnel wash has ripped it off with the brushes, unfortunately. We want to show you that GT1's going to work regardless of, you know, how much prep you do, even if you skip some steps that you probably shouldn't be skipping. So I would still recommend, time permitting, use some type of iron and fault remover on the paintwork if you have embedded contamination. Another cool thing that you can do to kind of save some time if you're going to use something like our iron and fallout remover to clay, You can go ahead and use that as your clay lubricant. Here's the caveat. With a product like W6, it will dry out any type of kind of actual clays. So when I say actual clay, any of those putties, I wouldn't recommend using W6 with. However, if you're using a scrub pad or something like this, you are good to go with any type of kind of thioglycolate base cleaner like our W6. You'll just spray it on a panel or two at a time. While that's chemically kind of deconning, you're also physically deconning. So killing two birds with one stone, that's something that we love to do here at Gtechniq. So the bare minimum here is wash, decon, and panel wipe, which is our alcohol prep solution to remove any oils and residues that would otherwise inhibit the bond of the coatings. Go ahead, sling on the coating. That's really all there is to it. So it's a really quick process and you can add steps as you need. So, you know, if you're a professional detailer that's doing this, you know, and you don't have a garage to work out of, you can still do your polish and you can still coat with GT1. It's gonna work even better that way. And it's gonna look better on the surface, but you're gonna get a year regardless, so long as you do that chemical and physical decon.
Jordan's panel wiping, he's using the FTW. FTW is a great towel for panel wipe.
Panel wipe contains a few different solvents, and they're a lot stronger, right, than typical panel preps. Most panel preps are going to be an isopropyl alcohol base. They're diluted down with water. They usually have colors and dyes, some of which sometimes are even oil-based, right? And we're trying to remove oils and residues at this point. So panel wipe's kind of the jam. You didn't just hear it from me, okay? Carson also likes the product, right, Carson?
Yeah.
Carson? Yeah, he said yes. The deal with panel wipe though is it contains a really strong alcohol kind of blend. So it's not just gonna be isopropyl, there's also ethyl and some other ingredients that are gonna help reduce your surface friction as you're wiping. That said, it is going to slightly kind of bloom your clear coat a little bit. That's a huge advantage because as panel preps, you want to try and go deeper into that clear coat and make sure that you remove all polishing residue if you've polished. A lot of that polishing residue is going to be deeper into the clear because most of the time when we're polishing, we're actually going to heat up that clear just a little bit, slightly expands it. That clear coat then shrinks back after we polish and we have a little bit of trapped residue and oil. The panel wipe's going to kind of bloom that clear just a little bit to the proper extent so that we get a really nice kind of sticky, tacky paintwork. The benefit behind that is the coatings are going to bond better. The downside behind that is because it's going to temporarily bloom your paintwork, it's not going to be one of those products you want to spray directly onto the panel. You'll have uneven blooming and uneven softening of the paint. Spray it onto your microfiber and then wipe so you have an even bloom of the paint, so you have even surface treatment. Make sure that everything's kind of sticky and tacky, ready to accept GT1 or whatever coating you're installing on the surface. As far as coating goes, we're going to use some Rip and Rags here. Are these the Rip and Rag Ultras?
Yes, so
okay.
the Ultra XLs.
Got it.
So they're a pearl weave.
And so I know some people are going to have some questions too about the applicator. This is the Ultra No Soak?
Correct.
Okay, so this is basically what the goal of something like this is to prevent it from just absorbing into the foam so we get more bang for buck out of the product.
Correct, yeah. So it's got a kind of like a vapor barrier in there and a plastic barrier in there to prevent it from going through.
One thing with the GT1, it's going to be in a 50 milliliter bottle. So you're going to have a lot of product here. You're going to have enough to do a multitude of surfaces. That's the goal. Whether we're treating glass, plastics, any type of unpainted textured black plastics, it's going to work on really everything. So when we make this coating, the biggest difference between something like this and some of the other coatings that we have, when we manufacture these coatings, we do something called grafting, which is essentially how we make the coating. This is going to have covalent grafting in there, so it's going to still be a strong coating. When we graft that coating, it's going to be slightly less of a kind of bond to the paint than some of our longer term coatings, which is why it's not going to be a 2-year or a 5-year coating. But when we weaken that graft a little bit, we can up the carriers and up the ability to kind of install to a multitude of surfaces, right? Basically, layman's terms is we've made this coating more playful to install via weakening the grafting process, which makes it a lower durability, but for that year, you're not sacrificing performance, right? So we still get that excellent water contact angle, but even better, we have an even easier ease of application. And you've installed EXO, right?
Yeah.
So how would you rate EXO as far as ease of install on the panel?
Extremely easy,
right? Yeah.
Out of 5, I'd say it's a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
It's really easy.
Extremely easy.
This is even easier. And when I say even easier, when I had one of my first bottles of this for testing, just for fun, we installed it on my car and my coworker's car. I intentionally left a high spot on it for, I think it was almost 20 hours. It was overnight and then a couple extra hours.
Crazy.
I came back with some ceramic sealant and I wiped it off. Like no joke, no joke. And you're getting that performance out of it, right? Here's the deal with this coating. It's 1 to 2 minutes of kind of cure time as far as wipe on, wipe off. So that typical kind of flash or sweat that we have with our coatings where you have that kind of beading effect, this will do that, and the goal is to wipe it off within 1 to 2 minutes of application. Here we're indoors, so we can maybe even extend that a little bit.
Right.
So we're able to coat huge panels with it and things of that sort. So Jordan did this half of the hood because I already coated this half, but we could do this whole hood and honestly probably wipe some onto a fender and then wipe this hood as that fender is kind of curing. So we can go really quick, let this sit a couple minutes, and then like we can throw some stuff at it, see how we do here.
Big fan of that. It's
Yeah.
very, like you said, very mobile detailer friendly. Guys that are working outdoors that are in less than ideal climates, right?
It realistically
can throw
is.
this on.
Yeah, I think that's the goal with a product like this is you have all the performance, but it's
I'm
you
getting
can
a little
use it on
FOMO, dude. I
everything.
want to try this. I'm sorry.
Give it a shot. Actually, yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. I gotta try this. We're already preloaded. We're preloaded, ready to go. I'll just add it. Came out a little fast, my bad. It's okay.
It's okay though. Conventions
It's okay, 'cause I got a
conventions are
50
out
ml
the
bottle.
window. Yeah, we got enough to go around.
Now I'm just
here.
gonna apply it here on this. And you're saying I'm looking for uniformed sweat beads?
Yeah. If we're outside, I wouldn't do more than 1 panel at a time. And especially if it's a hotter day, you're in kind of a more humid climate, this is still going to set up decently. So if you're new to it, I'm not encouraging you to do multiple doors at a time or multiple panels at a time. I'm just trying to show you the kind of true limits of this coating and really kind of push the boundaries on camera. If it's your first time working with the coating, still follow the usual conventions, right? Work in 2x2 sections, have a tool cart handy so that you've got the towels leveling right there. Follow the usual precautions. So ideally what you want to do with something like this is draw yourself a river and then you can kind of pull from that river so you have even solvent distribution.
Okay.
That's how we teach with EXO, with CSL, with all the other coatings. You still want to do that with this coating. However, if you're new to it and you go in semicircular motions or you do something completely different, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're still going to notice the same kind of performance out of the product. The nice thing with this is you can use honestly just 2 towels to go in and level. And so I would follow what I call an 80-20 rule. And so what that kind of usually entails is that first towel, try to use, just kind of wipe across the panel and scoop up a lot of that coating. You'll notice, especially with a lighter towel like this or a lighter colored towel, you'll see that kind of line kind of build up. This towel is my second towel, so we don't have that too much on something like this. But with Jordan's towel 1, you'll notice you have a kind of a lot or a mop up of a lot of that product. And then we'll come back with our second microfiber and just kind of come back. I like to go in the opposite direction. So if I went left and right, I'll go up and down, kind of almost semicircular motion this time, just to cancel out any haze that I might have missed going in the other direction. And this is my 20 towel, so this is my 20%. If I have a little bit of residue left, some haze here or there, this is what I'm using to kind of knock that down. And usually a good kind of rule of thumb is work about 1.5 times your application region. So if I'm coating just this door, I'll probably wipe a little bit onto the fender and a little bit onto this next door here.
So we're focusing a lot on the paintwork right now and the trim.
But you can do it on everything.
So this coating is for everything?
It realistically is. I mean, we can sling this on the wheels, we can sling this on the paint.
What?
We can sling this on the glass, these textured black plastics.
Of course, we did it on the glass. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's a huge advantage of a product like this. And it's slick on everything. You're not gonna have that kind of normal haze that were to happen. So we have guys that call in and they're like, hey, why not do some CSL on my glass? Yeah. The reason why is it sets up so fast, and it's also not gonna really form that kind of hard bond to the glass. You're not really gonna get much durability out of this. This will still perform on glass, and you're not gonna have that kind of haze that usually happens with our kind of higher solids coating products where there's more focus on that kind of graft system, which we talked about a little bit. So I'm gonna let that sit a little bit, and honestly, I could let that sit a couple minutes and probably come back. Now, up to 2 minutes again, but I usually will try to go a little bit faster than that. I don't know what kind of temperature we're pushing in here, probably somewhere around 70-ish degrees. It's a pretty decently low humidity. And this is what I was talking about with that towel. You can kind of see where we have a lot of that coating buildup. When your first leveling towel kind of looks like this, it's a good sign that this is loaded with product. We should probably flip to a new side that has a lot less. So this is a good time to flip to a nice, fresher side. We have this sweat kind of forming on the glass, which is an indicator that the coating has fully absorbed. Any excess is kind of getting rejected. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do that leveling procedure where I'm really just wiping. Notice I'm not spending too much time with that first towel. Come back with towel 2, work in the opposite motion, buff it to a high shine.
Carson, what else do we have on deck this year, new product-wise for
We
Gtechniq?
have some special stuff coming out.
Around 3 new products coming out this year. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So
Now-
Carson, you wanna elaborate?
Another product that we're coming out with is W4 version 2, a very slight alkaline sugar-based surfactant, still completely coating safe. The dirt removal on it is insane. So
So W4, to refresh the folks at
there's
home.
going to be a fancy little V2 on there.
W4 is your new citrus foam.
Yep.
Version
Same 1 to 10
2.
dilution.
Okay.
Same way that we use it today. So you're going to foam it, let it sit a minute or 2, rinse. But what you're going to notice is generally with the version 2, it's just going to be improved everything that's doing. So the dirt removal, the foamability, the clingability to that dirt, and the ease of rinse off is something that we've really focused on kind of perfecting with the version 2. So that will be hitting very soon here by Q2 is what I've been told. Now, we have some other products coming out as well. So
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. So we have rinseless coming out. Carson's worked very hard on this.
So rinseless wash.
and it's gonna have a twist to it. It's gonna be a very effective product with a multitude of ways to use it. So it's not gonna be just your traditional, put a capful in here and use it as such. There's gonna be some interesting kind of things with it. So
So you've heard it here, folks, live at TRSEMA 2026. Gtechniq rinseless wash coming soon.